Talking Geek TV at Spiel 2014. I'm sitting now with the ever wonderful Ralph Anderson of Eagle Griffin Games.
Hi, Helen. How are you? Always nice to be with you.
I know. I've been eagerly awaiting this.
Well, it's here.
It's here. Dun, dun,
It's here.
Roll through the ages, the Iron Age.
Yes, and a completely different game from the Bronze Age or late Bronze Age. Well, let's show
And
them
not
what's
just
inside.
because it's a bigger box either, but...
Well, the first thing you'll notice is that there's an expansion, which we'll talk about later, but if you buy it later, it'll fit right in here. So we've pre-planned everything. But the base game, you have the nice wooden pegboards, as you're probably familiar with, and we'll use those over here. And then you have, everybody has the pegs in their color. So there's also the dice people already know, but there's also some new faces on the dice.
Yes.
And then there's also a fate die. So the thing I would say that is the most different between Iron Age and Bronze Age is that this has a lot more strategy to it. There's a little bit different ways to go. We probably have these backwards.
No, actually, we have them exactly right.
Oh, that's right, because they're looking at this. Okay. Well, that one's backwards. Oh, I see, for the 4 players. I'm with you now. As people know, it's a very simple game. You have a score sheet.
Why don't you actually put that right smack in the middle, because this is a much more substantial score sheet than Bronze Age, for sure.
Right. Yes, you'll see that the first thing you'll notice right off the bat is you choose at the beginning of the game whether you want to go with a port or a province. Ports will not cost you food. You have to feed your cities. They don't need to be fed. They already have fish, but they do help you with your goods. So, whereas provinces, you have to feed them, but they help give you more armies and tribute. So that there's 2 different ways to go right off the bat. Of course, you can change your mind in between. You can do a mixed strategy. You don't have to do one way. But it's whichever you have the most of is how many extra dice you have. So you always have 2. Then you'll get to add more dice as you get more cities, as it shows. You also have this fate die, which has various faces that will also change things. So, as you know, starting the game, we'd be rolling 2 dice plus the fate die.
And the rolling rules are the same as Bronze Age.
You can re-roll. You can keep some aside and then re-roll. You can change your mind about which ones you re-roll, just like in Yahtzee.
Up to 2 times.
Right,
yeah.
up to 2 times. And you got food. You've got your people. You've got your food or people. You've got your goods, which helps with the ports. Sorry. You've also got the die of death, which gives you a good and a person,
which
as well as...
Which is a little different than last time. It was 2 goods previously.
Now it's a good and a person. This is innovation, which can be used for getting your developments. And then the fate die will alter some of these things. For example, in drought, you'll get 1 less food. In cornucopia, you'll get 1 more food. And there's other things that happen. This helps with Conquest.
Does the fate die balance between positive effects and negative effects?
Yes, it does. And there's also one side, which I'm trying to remember which one it is. You get to choose which you can change 1 other die, including the fate die.
Which, as I'm realizing as we're on top of the thing here, there's a lovely description of what each side of the fate die does.
Everything.
So it would be that symbol. Yes, you were... There we go. Omens.
Omens. Reset 1 die after all your re-rolls. Okay. Well, I have played it a bit, so I should remember, but it's been a little while. Okay, but as normal, you have monuments that you can build. So you need people to build monuments. So for each person, you mark them off, and that's your score. For developments, you need to pay money, which comes from your goods. Notice the goods are linear now.
Yeah. So we have previously we had a track of different types of goods, with the higher value ones being at the top, where you'd have to slowly build your way up to that. So now all of our goods are just represented on that one track.
But what it does is with your ports, you get extras. So if you're using ports, so that helps you with that strategy. You also now have ships and armies, which are used in Conquest and also getting tribute from the other players, so if you have more armies than they do. But whenever you use them, you have to expend one. And if you use armies and ships, you have to expend one of each. So it's difficult to keep it maintained to really roll over somebody. But nevertheless, that is how you get some points here.
Appropriate use of phrase to roll over someone.
Yes, I know. But that would be part of your conquest and tribute. The disasters, of course, is before. You have for unrest. If you have no food, of course, you have famine. For 2 fate dice, you have barbarians attack you. So you have to have at least 4 strength in your army. So that's a reason to build at least some army. You have pestilence, civil war, and invasion. So similar to the other game, but a little different for this one.
Well, and I have a prediction question for you. Now, I've played Bronze Age quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing, and I hadn't yet seen your production copy here of Iron Age until this moment. Would you say people familiar with Bronze Age would be able to pretty much get going just
really
by
quick.
virtue of looking at your score sheet?
That's all you need.
Yeah,
It's very quick. You might want to look a little bit at Conquest and Tribute, how those work, but otherwise, very simple.
Now, how do we integrate the map over there?
Okay, so with this, you still are using these. You still use these, but now you have a map of the Mediterranean, and everybody gets more pegs so that they can go after these various colonies. You have a different score sheet, Mediterranean expansion. Most of it works very similarly, but you've added a strategic element in the center. Now, right now,
the communal element too,
yes,
which the other ones don't have.
Right, because now you're literally going after the same places on the board.
Right.
So there is a real interaction between the players, which is something people notice about the other game. Yeah, everybody's playing for themselves, but this one now you're taking a few things not from them, but you get things because you beat them. And here now you're actually be taking things from them. So it introduces a little more interaction into the game, which is fine. One thing I should say about the Mediterranean expansion, all of the shipments are going out to backers as we speak. Many of them probably already have them. I've seen a few posts about people who've received them. So you can certainly see a lot on Board Game Geek descriptions about what's going on. And also, within the next week or so, most everyone should have those, and then they'll be available through our website. So right now, no one else can get this. We're not even selling the Mediterranean expansion here until after our backers get their copies. So, there's always a couple of outliers, but we'll take care of them through customer service. So that's all fine.
And how long would you say that Iron Age plays longer than Bronze Age?
Not particularly. On the box, it tells us 40 to 60 minutes, which is a little more probably than your Bronze Age game, but well worth it.
Well, Ralph, thanks as always for giving us a quick peek at Roll for the Ages, the Iron Age, and also with the Mediterranean expansion as well.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.